Hello everyone, thank you for checking out this video on Web3 concepts. Today we're going to be looking at tokens. Let's get it. So what exactly is a token? Well, I've got a nice definition right here, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it after that. And we have 3 of these concepts are covered up with these blocks. As I always say, the best way to learn is to do. So what I'm going to ask from you right now is to go ahead, pause the video. Here's some hints. 3 of these are the answers. 1 of them is not the answer. Go ahead and pause the video for a minute. Let me know what you think the hidden answers are there in the comments below. If you do not want to do that, that's okay. We're going to go over the answers right now. If you want to do that, pause the video now. Okay, so here we go. So a token is a digital unit of value or utility issued on a blockchain, often used to represent currency, rights, or access. They live on top of established networks and follow specific standards that define how they work. What they represent depends entirely on how their smart contract is programmed and what the community agrees they're worth. Now, I would simplify this. I would say that tokens are digital assets that piggyback on existing blockchains. So instead of building an entirely new blockchain for every digital asset that the developers want to create for tokens, right? They can just use smart contracts and build their tokens on top of already established blockchains that will give them security, record keeping, and a decentralized community. Okay? Let's get a little bit deeper into this and figure out how this works, all right? So how do tokens work? Well, we're just going to get an overview right now, right? Because we're just trying to understand the concept of what these are, right? So I would say that tokens work through smart contracts that act themselves a little bit like digital ledgers. The smart contract keeps track of who owns how many tokens and enforces the rules of transferring those tokens. When you send a token to someone, the smart contract updates its records on the blockchain. Token standards, for example, like the ERC20, ensure that all tokens on the blockchain work in compatible ways. And then they also make sure that these wallets and decentralized exchanges can interact with them easily. Right? So the token standards there are these platforms, these blockchains set their own token standards, these rules that tokens have to follow when smart contract developers are developing these tokens. And again, for example, on Ethereum has the ERC tokens, ERC20, the standard token there, the fungible token there, and then the other tokens as well on there. We're not going to go too deep on that right now, though. So you just need to know that these standards, so you just need to know that the developers use smart contract to define the rules, and when they're defining these rules, they're going to follow the token standards for that blockchain network. And then whenever you're transferring your tokens, making transactions with your tokens, things like that, these transactions are recorded on the blockchain. All right. It's always one of my favorite parts, the learning challenge. The best way to learn is by doing. We're going to go ahead and reinforce our learning here by doing a simple gap fill. What I always say is challenge yourself, do it. Pause the video, take a close look at it. Let me know what you think your answers are for numbers 1, 2, and 3 in the comment sections there. We're going to have 3 questions. This is the first one. So go ahead and between each one, you can stop the video or go back and look at it as many times as you want. Learn by doing. Here we go. So we got 3 choices here. We got mining rig, smart contract, and private key. And it says A token is a digital asset created on an existing blockchain through a... which one of these do we think it is? Well, we didn't really talk that much about a mining. We didn't talk about a mining rig at all. I don't think it's relevant to our situation here. Private keys are relevant when you're talking about transferring tokens and dealing with the wallets, but we didn't dive too much into that either. And it's also not the answer. The smart contract would be the answer here, right? Your private key is what you use to sign the transaction that proves that you are the owner of those tokens there, right? But that's a totally different video. If you want to, I've got a video on private key. Go ahead and check out that concept explainer there as well. Private key, go ahead and look at private key, public keys, and wallets to tie all this together. Okay, here we go. Learning challenge number 2. Pause the video if you need to. Our choices are blockchain, wallet, and token standard. And it says, unlike native cryptocurrencies, tokens don't have their own Instead, they live on top of established networks. Tokens, except for the native cryptocurrencies like a Bitcoin and Ether, these don't need their own. They live on top of other networks, right? What kind of networks are those? Those are, blockchain, right? They don't have their own blockchain because it's not necessary. There's established networks that are already extremely secure, decentralized, transparent, have integrity. So you go ahead and build on top of those and take advantage of those benefits that the already established blockchain networks such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, well, not a lot of building, such as Ethereum and Solana. Here we go. We got one more. All right, we got security features, consensus mechanism, and apps. It says, if a blockchain is like a computer's operating system, tokens are like the that run on it. We might have to think about this one a little bit. I don't know if I mentioned this entirely. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. If a blockchain is like a computer's operating system, if being the key here, tokens are like the that run on it. Tokens are like the apps that run on it. That is a comparison that I'm making here to try to get us to understand this a little bit more. Right? So the operating system has already established rules and security in place, the computer's operating system. But the apps also have their unique functions that they provide as well, but they just run on top of that computer's operating system. Okay, thank you very much for checking out this video as always. I'm very grateful that you spent some time with me today learning tokens and learning more about Web3 and blockchain. Go ahead and check out the link in the descriptions below to dive a little bit deeper and to learn more about these. Take some full lessons, take some quizzes, and keep pushing yourself, keep learning. Thank you once again. We'll see you next time.